And welcome back, everybody, to the Midwest Meltdown. It's your boy, Zach.
And Josh. And to get us started, we're going to go ahead and say today's podcast is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space, so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo. We recently joined, as you all have been listening, as members, and you can too. Apply today to become a member and immediately be connected with advertisers that fit your audience. That's podgo.co at podgo.co. So thank you very much again, Podco, for being on this week's episode of The Meltdown. One thing to add, Zach, you were just telling me about this before we started recording, so I'm gonna pilfer your story.
Please
You
do.
said somebody had reached out to us about our experience with Podgo.
Mhm.
You were saying that they had some issues trying to get a different company to monetize their podcast or what have you.
Yes.
It was very difficult, a lot of back and forth, things weren't lining up. So I just want to say, with hearing that, our experience with Podgo has been super easy.
Yes.
We hadn't talked about it yet, but we had when this first started a couple weeks ago, we had a great conversation with the folks at Podgo. Everything has been super straightforward, super nice, literally no problems at all. So I would say 10 out of 10 from our experience with Podgo so far.
Oh, I agree. 100%. It's been very smooth, very nice, very easy to use. Nice, again, very easy communication. And like Josh said, it pretty much sums it up. I mean, if you guys have any questions about it, feel free to shoot us messages, ask us questions. Again, we're here to help everybody, the podcast community, staying together. And like Josh said, go check them out. And
It's a great way to stay in shape.
It's a great way to stay in shape. Let me just say, Josh, after you reading that ad, you sound crazy nervous.
Do I?
And we're ready to go. All right, folks.
You sound crazy nervous.
I've had that joke locked and loaded in the chamber for the past 3 weeks. And I'm like, you know what? I really want to just get it out there, so here we go.
Oh, that was fantastic. That was a good old Family Guy reference.
Like I said, I saw that episode and I was like, okay, I'm going to do it right after he's done with the ad. He's going to finish up and go, thanks, Podgo, for being a sponsor. Wow, you sound crazy nervous.
Love it. That was perfect.
Jesus.
All right.
So
you were telling me about some surprises here.
Yes. So I wanted to get us right into this. I saw it was a post I saw on social media, and I was going through it. Honestly, internally, I kind of was going through a little bit of debate on myself. But the question was, or not really the question, but the statement was like saying, "What is your favorite remaster of the current gen?" It gave a bunch of examples. So here, I'll just, these examples, you can take them, you can think of other ones, whatever. But the examples they were saying was like, for example, Halo, the Master Chief Collection, the Crash Trilogy, the Spyro Trilogy, Borderlands Handsome Jack Collection, the Uncharted Nathan Drake Collection, the BioShock Collection, etc., etc.
Oh my God! Okay.
So see, I told you it was gonna be a fucking thinker.
One?
What's your favorite remaster of the current gen?
Unreal. So off the bat, I have 3 that I have to pick from. So Resident Evil 2 remastered was really, really, really good, and I love playing that game. But now, obviously, you throw in the Borderlands Handsome Collection, obvious reasons, and then BioShock. Well, I mean, we devoted an entire episode to BioShock, so that kind of speaks for itself.
Right.
Holy cow. And a pig.
Wow.
Amazing. Do you have a short list? Because I'm going to need some time.
Honestly, right out of the gate, the one that jumped off the page for me was the Uncharted collection, mainly because I actually I started playing Uncharted at number 2. I never got to play Drake's Deception.
Oh yeah, that's right. You told me that.
Which is the first one. So is that the first? Yeah, it's the first one, right? Drake's Deception. Or is that the third one?
No, it's Drake's Fortune is the first one.
Drake's Fortune. Drake's
Yeah.
Fortune. Okay. Yeah, and I never really originally got to play that game. So I initially played Uncharted 2, which came out for the PS3, and it was like a big thing. Blah blah blah. So, and actually, I think the original Uncharted came out on PS2, I believe.
No, PS3.
Was it really PS3?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, must have been okay. So that like right out of the gate was huge for me because I got to go back, replay all those games, especially after 4 had come out. So that was kind of cool. But
Sure.
honestly, the biggest two I was really going back and forth on were the Crash and the Spyro trilogies.
More than BioShock though.
Well, here's why. I'm not saying that because here, clearly, Bioshock as a whole is a much better game, much better franchise, just over the course of what it encompasses.
I think I know
But
where you're going. Yeah.
what I'm channeling though is my inner childhood. Crash, the original Crash, I had on PlayStation 1. Like I was, I don't know, 6, 7 years old. That was like one of my very first games I'd ever played.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I like the way you do business. I'm changing my answer because
There it is.
it's okay. So I have two things here, and I want to before we get too far away from talking about Uncharted. I don't think I actually ever told you about this.
Okay.
I got the collection and I started playing number 1, and I started playing on the hardest difficulty because that's what you do. You start off on the hardest difficulty.
Of course.
And I played for about 2 hours, and I was like just trying to be very precise and blah blah blah. It took me a while to proceed. I'm trying to get headshots and do all this stuff for trophies and stuff like that.
Sure.
And 2 hours and about 20 minutes in, my fucking PlayStation just goes like error with the Uncharted application. I'm like, my ass.
Oh,
And I was like,
no.
it's fine, no problem. Game just crashed. I'll load her back up and turn off the PS4, turn the PS4 back on, go to load the game, and then all of a sudden, save data corrupt. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Corrupt.
Oh my
Like I pulled the
God.
memory card out too fast. Oh wait, no, I didn't because it's 2020 and my backed up file and my local file were both fucked up. I have had an eye twitch for the past couple weeks, and I'm pretty sure that's what it's from. Was
Oh my
experiencing the loss of my life playing that game, and then all of a sudden the
Oh.
save data crashing. So fuck that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh
So
shit.
haven't played that since then. That was like
How,
seriously like 3
wait,
weeks ago.
I was gonna say, yeah, that couldn't have been that long ago. Oh my God.
No. Yeah. It's cool.
And for reference, everybody, really quick sidebar. For reference, everyone, Josh had his. Oh, this is now his PS4 Pro. He had his original PS4 completely crap out on him.
It bricked. I still don't even know what's
Like-
wrong with it or what was wrong with it. It just turned into a brick. Like it was such a weird circumstance of errors. And like I did find other people had experienced it, but
Mhm.
yeah, it would turn on, but a controller wouldn't sync, and I don't even fucking remember. It was like a year ago now, actually.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah, that was pretty much right a little over a year ago, I think. Because I remember you got the PS4 Pro, you had moved into your previous place, and then you just got God of War. So then you got your new TV, PS4 Pro, and God of War. And I remember I came over and you're like, dude, look at this. And it was
Yeah.
just the loading screen, and you're like, just look at this.
Yeah. Fortunately, in that circumstance, my God of War save data backed up to the cloud to my
Oh,
PSN,
jeez.
so that I could just re-download to the new PS4. So that
Right.
was fine. But all right, back to the question at hand here. I'm gonna say Resident Evil 2 then, because of what you gain from the remaster. I kind of going along, and maybe that's not exactly what you were saying, but that's what made me think of it when you started talking. So like, you play BioShock on the PS3 or the Xbox 360, and then you play BioShock Remastered, you don't get that much of an improvement.
Correct.
The game was already good. It looked great. It polished it up a little bit. Same with Borderlands. Like, it looked a little better, but like you weren't sitting there going, "Oh my god!" Like, this looks nothing like the original game because it's so much of an improvement. Resident Evil 2 to Resident Evil 2 Remastered, that is leaps and bounds. Obviously different. Like PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 4, like late PlayStation 4, huge
Right.
improvement. So from that standpoint, I like that you said that because you got so much more of an improvement to Resident Evil 2 compared to the other games. So I'm going with
Mhm.
Resident Evil 2 is my favorite.
Okay. See, well, and that was actually my line of thinking too, because the another remaster that obviously for me came to mind was the Last of Us remaster. But again, that game came out like later PS3,
Yeah, so it's like,
so
come on.
it's like it was already yeah. Like if you overlap the PS3 and PS4 like side by side, there wasn't that. I mean, sure they might have glistened up a few like watermarks or something, but again, nothing like when you look at Spyro PS1 and morph that shit into PS4, holy crap. Like
Yeah,
it is not even comparable. Like there
yeah,
is it's so yeah, and like I said, I guess that was the biggest thing for me. And again, it was the whole childhood aspect playing those games. I remember one of my friends, I think it was maybe my cousin or another friend of mine, had Spyro, and that's remember playing that. And actually, even my fiance said that that was actually games that she even grew up with. Like her sisters and her would play the Crash games, the Spyro game. One of the other ones she said was the Crash Nitro Fuel Racing.
yep. I loved
That
that game.
there, see, that's another one that because we actually have that. Um, I got that now for PS4, and again, just again, like you compare it to PlayStation and now PS4, you're like, okay, it's not even the same game. Like it is, but it's at
No,
this
yeah.
point the amount of I want to know the amount of energy that went into them. Basically, you basically have to just make a whole new game.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Like,
agree, and I feel like that's kind of what they did for Resident Evil 2 because I mean, Resident Evil
oh
2
right,
wasn't a fixed camera, wasn't or I'm sorry, wasn't a behind the shoulder perspective. It was the top down fixed camera, which was like in my opinion awful to play. So they obviously
oh,
changed that. So they essentially
mhm,
made a new game. So it almost you're almost into Resident Evil 2 reimagined territory for a proper
exactly.
descriptor because you didn't really remaster. If you remastered it, it would look the same and play similarly. But they made it a whole new way to play. So
That was another thing too. Of those old, of like the OG Resident Evil games, who in their right fucking mind thought that that camera style and gameplay was like, yeah, this will work.
well, it was kind of purposeful because you entered each room with from a fixed camera perspective, you couldn't see
Sure,
around certain places. So because like you were operating with limited technology at the time for PlayStation 1, you had to find ways
right,
to create the tension. So not allowing the player to look around corners in a certain way built that
sure.
tension because you couldn't see what was around certain doorways and hallways and stuff like that. So it was purposeful. It was more of like a gameplay device that fit the time for not having the ability to make the
Hmm.
game as engaging or as scary as you can today. Um, but I agree with you.
That's
It
fair.
sucks, but it was like it did have a
It's
purpose.
it's like it's so disorienting to watch because it's like you walk into a room and first like your analog's like, okay, well this is clearly straight,
And
and
then
now all of
flips
a
it.
sudden like it flips it. Yeah, so like your guy's like in a room, out of room, in a room, out of room. You're like, no,
Motherfucker.
I wanna go this way. So it's like okay. But really quick here, let's wrap this up. So you say Resident Evil 2,
Hmm.
best remake, current gen. I'm gonna honestly go Crash just because, like I said, original like OG game for me, childhood going back, seeing that remaster, it just especially the first one, like the classic boulder chasing you, running back,
Indiana
um,
Jones.
Indiana Jones style. Like, and actually, cool little Easter egg in the Uncharted 4 game is when you actually get to play that on like Nathan Drake's house has a play like an original boxed PlayStation in it, PlayStation 1. And as a, I think you played through Uncharted 4, didn't you?
Hmm.
Yeah, so you get to the point where you're like, oh, we have to do dishes, and they're like, well, let's just play for it, and you're like, okay, like, what are they gonna play here? And they bust out like original Crash, original graphics, and the best part is when you play it on your controller, you have to use the arrow keys to direct Crash.
Just just like the original.
It was so freaking meta, dude. It was so cool.
What is fucking happening right now?
Seriously. So I will give it. So mine will be the Crash trilogy. Just slightly out edging Spyro.
All right. I will gladly accept your response.
Oh, god damn you! Thank you. It's gonna hopefully it's gonna freaking make my fiance's sisters happy. They've been egging me to freaking mention those games forever on this thing because again, it's like the only games they play. So they're like, "Why don't you talk about those trilogies?" I'm like, "I'll get there."
We'll get there when we get there.
Seriously, like everybody loves the games. We'll get there. We'll get there when we get there.
All right. So you had other ideas for things you wanted to ask me.
Yes, I do. And now the next thing I wanted to ask, and honestly, if anybody listening, tweet at us, Instagram us, because I just want to hear your responses too. I saw another post that said, if you could go back and watch any movie, and I'm gonna incorporate it for this podcast in particular, or video game, if you could go back and play or watch any movie, any video game without any spoilers, any knowledge of the movie. Basically, it is like you're alive today and it comes out tomorrow. You never heard of it and you're like, I'm going to go watch this or play this. What game or movie would you like to go back and basically play or watch for the very, very first time?
Call of
Again,
Duty.
without
I've never heard of this game.
See, like seriously, like you hit like like no command, like no Shepherd, no General Shepherd, no Price, no 141 Mac, none of that stuff, like anything.
Yeah, I don't know any of that shit, but I know you know what you're talking about.
It's like that's what I'm talking about.
Hell yeah, dude.
Seriously, like honestly, like I like for me at least, right out of the gate, movie wise, I gotta go with the original Star Wars trilogy. I would kill to be like our parents' ages back when that movie first came out and have never heard of it before and just went to go see it for the first time, being like, wow.
Yeah, that was my answer too, and specifically was Empire. Would like
Yeah,
it's just like
exactly.
it's so hard because we have watched Star Wars so many times. We've just had so much Star Wars stuff, right? And we've done it all,
Right.
watched it all, played it all. You just get I don't want to say desensitized because that sounds too fucking dramatic, but like you're used to what the story is. You know the story. The story is ingrained in your brain. Like nothing's really. You're just like it is what it is. And to have the ability to learn that Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's father for the first time ever, like as an adult, because obviously I was a child, but like consuming those stories up to that point would be fucking crazy. Like it's almost unimaginable to be like, what?
Like I would have loved to have been in the theater when no, I am your father, and just like turn to your left of like random strangers and everyone's just jaw dropped like what?
Fucking head in hand. No one can handle it right now.
Somebody stands up and just tells the guy at the projector, can we click pause please for a sec? We all need to take about a fucking 3-hour nap here and try to recoup of what we just fucking heard. Seriously, like people just start throwing up because they just don't know what else to do. Like seriously though, like that would just absolutely blow my mind.
I know. Like I would love that.
Oh god. And again, especially to see like I guess like and again for that time to because again all of those movies, especially the original trilogy, where a lot of the way that they did the special effects, all that was so new for that time period. To go and watch that on screen like unfold in front of you would just be like, what? Like, how the fuck are they doing this?
I agree with you.
That would just be
There's this I don't know what I was watching, but some sort of show talking about Star Wars, and Mark Hamill was on there, and he was talking about when he was at like he went to a movie and there was going to be a spot for A New Hope. So it was like their first, like, it's not like TV spot, but like kind of like a teaser at a different movie. So Mark Hamill was there and everybody watched the trailer for Star Wars, New Hope. And he's like, yeah, so like everything happened. The trailer ended, everybody went quiet. And Mark Hamill he's like, yeah. And then you hear some guy from the back go, yeah. And on late night TV 1 week after that. So like people for the first time, like we're like, this is what Star Wars is gonna be. It's so funny to think like, what Star Wars is now.
Sure.
That when people first saw it, so there was a person who when first saw it was like, oh, that's gonna be shit.
Well, right.
Like No one's gonna watch this.
Seriously, yeah. Everyone was
I got
like,
news for you, Chief.
not a chance. Like, oh, this is gonna suck, dude. Like,
Like,
yeah, well,
excuse
because
me?
everybody, I mean, most people know at least the common story of where basically 20th Century Fox just told George Lucas, like, all right, look, we'll give you some money for your little science project, but anything you make from it, we're just going to let you keep it, okay? Like, 20,
You know, all the royalties to merchandising.
20
What?
seriously. And that was one of the first movies that really, really honed in on the merchandising.
I know, and like clearly, it's funny. I mean, I think most people know of that story, but it's so funny. Like
It's, oh,
hindsight, you got to think anybody at Fox, 20th Century Fox, who is still alive during that time, it's still just like whenever they think about it, they just gotta feel sick. You know what I mean? Like,
seriously.
because they were so smug about it. I'm sure they're like, yeah, okay, George, let this asshole
George.
keep the fucking toys. Like the toys are gonna sell.
If
Oh
that
my
even
god.
is your real name, George.
Like, can you like the money that they just literally just gave up because there's like this is not gonna be good.
Yeah, exactly,
It's so
because they were
so
just
funny.
like, okay, like this is gonna be nothing, and then it just morphed into this like, it's into what it is today, where there's still content coming out. I mean, literally,
Entertainment juggernaut.
the only reason why I got Disney Plus, like the only reason is that all Star Wars is on there. Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Literally, don't care what else is
Go
on
ahead.
there. Oh no, I was just saying, I don't care what else is on Disney Plus as long as they're Star Wars. Good, sold.
I the whole thing I'd like to experience again without having seen it before,
Mhm.
because I don't know, like I was saying before, like I've had so much Star Wars that I'm just like, okay, like it's not like when Star Wars news drops or like
Mhm.
stuff for the games, I'm like, that's fine. Like it's not that I don't like Star Wars anymore. It's just like I feel like okay. So I
Yeah.
wish I had that, like I wish I had that back where I'm like, yeah, yes, sign me up for Star Wars. Like Star Wars
Well,
toothpicks, I got them.
I don't know.
Like
I don't know if you've seen this video. I mean, it's circulated, I'm sure, through social media quite a bit. But it was parents filming their kids' reactions to that scene where Vader
which scene?
reveals
Okay.
himself to be the father. So, I mean, we're talking kids that are like 6, 7 years old, and the parents are just introducing them to Star Wars. I'm sure they showed them like number 4 first, and then they showed them number 5. So they have their cameras out and they're filming their kids, and all of a sudden you hear in the background like, "No, I am your father." And like one kid was like, turned to his dad, he's like, "Nah,
Guys, I actually said, "Nuh-uh."
nah." Like it's so cool, and honestly, like the day of the when the day comes, hopefully for me to have children, I am gonna do that exact same thing. I'm gonna post their reaction because, like I said, that is what I want to experience. Like that's the experience I wanted to have, so I want to at least live that through my kids, because obviously they will have never have hopefully have heard of it or seen any of it to the point where they're like still young enough to comprehend what's going on. Um, and actually, speaking of that, I was talking to some of my other buddies about this recently. A little sidebar. So, with obviously
Sidebar.
the whole virus thing going on right now, and no sports being around, one of the coolest things has got to be. Let's just say you are like 9, 10, 11 years old, and you never saw, or you never really got to you never comprehended or heard of like the Patriots dynasty or like any hockey or NBA or whatever, and you got to go back and watch all of these like playbacks of all these famous like playoff games, Super Bowls, whatever, for the first time, not knowing the outcome.
So, what do you have one in particular?
Well, the one that comes to most people's minds right out of the gate is, I'm sure, the one that you're most familiar with would be the comeback against the Falcons for the Patriots. Like,
Super Bowl 51? Yeah,
exactly.
I've heard of it.
You've heard of it, exactly. So, like, just think now, like, being able to go back, like, obviously, you and I watched that game live and got to experience it live, but like right now, just think about like going back and reliving that moment.
Well, just to clarify, we watched it air. We weren't
Yeah.
we weren't there.
Oh,
We didn't
Jesus.
watch it live.
Well, you weren't. No, yeah,
You were right next to me.
you were right fucking there. He was blacked out the whole time. No, yes, correction. We were not physically at the Super Bowl. One day hopefully, fingers crossed, I'd ever like this. But that'd be a huge bucket list for me, just to go. I don't even care who's playing.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, like that's the thing, and because you have to buy tickets so far in advance anyway, you just have to commit to enjoying the experience, which I'm sure I will.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
Um.
Oh shoot, I was just gonna say something else that I want. Oh yeah, I remember now.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so you have to show maybe not your child because you might take into consideration like showing them in a certain order just so that it makes more sense to them because it's a little easier to understand.
Sure.
So you have to show an adult who has never seen Star Wars before. Let's keep it easy and just do Skywalker Saga movies. So episode 1 through 9.
Mhm.
What order are you showing them in?
4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9.
Oh, nice.
Well, I'm doing it. And I will take this till the day I die. You show it to people how it came out.
All right, that's fine. I mean, like, I respect you. We're probably gonna lose our entire audience after I say this.
Oh no!
I want to do 1 through 9.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I just because like that's technically how the story goes. Obviously,
Sure, chronologically, yes.
So I just want to see how people react to it from that standpoint, and because actually specifically we were just talking about the reveal of Anakin being Luke's father in episode 5.
Mm-hmm.
So you get like you get this I don't know, you get more of a backstory with Anakin's character and subsequently Darth Vader when you watch the prequels first.
Sure.
So granted, it's not a surprise per se, but you maybe get to see a different emotionally involved response watching Luke figure out that Darth Vader is Anakin and thus his father. Just because you saw like how he got there. I don't know. I just want to. I wouldn't know.
See, for me, the reason I say 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9 is because when you go watch 4, 5, 6, the best part about waiting for the prequels to come out was okay, here's 4, 5, 6. What the hell happened to get us to this point? Like, okay, we get the shock of like, wait a second, the bad guy is the good guy's dad. Whoa! First of all, what the fuck? Second of all, how? Like, where was the disconnect? How did he not know this? Let's go back and rewind time here and see. Okay, wow, all of this happened leading up to the, and actually, that's why I have 3 so high on my list, which is for reference, Revenge of the Sith. Because that was the movie that I finally got to sit there and go. Everybody was like, all right, how did we get from this to this? And here's what happens.
Right fucking here.
Like, this is it. This is exactly. And I was like, this is. I mean, yeah, he kind of like. I feel like George kind of like rushed the ending of 3 because it was kind of like, all right, here's this, and everyone get in your New Hope starting positions and go. Like,
yeah,
he did kind of rush it, but like at the same time, though, it still I feel like gave some very. I don't know. I like I said, for me, I just feel like to get the full experience, you watch it the way it originally all came out. Just so you get like, all right, here's how this all happened, blah blah blah. Okay, let's go back and see where it all started from, I guess. But again, that's just
okay. I like that idea.
It's just
I see what you're putting down there.
And actually, really quick too, I was watching. So obviously you're aware of the Mandalorian that came out on Disney Plus.
Yes.
They've been doing a little mini series recently about like just like with the directors and kind of talking about the show. Help me out here, Iron Man guy. Why am I losing his name?
Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau. Thank you. They have
You're
him like
the director, right?
What's that?
You're talking about the director?
Well, he's like the executive producer, but he sat down with he hired a bunch of different directors. He sat with them and helped them like direct some of the episodes, but he never officially was the main director on any of the episodes.
Right. I just meant you were asking me the director guy from Iron Man. Like you weren't asking me to say Robert Downey Jr.
Correct, Jon Favreau. Thank you.
Okay.
No. Yes. And he sat down with like a lot of the directors and stuff. And one of them, I'm drawing a blank on his name too, but he helped a lot with the Clone Wars animated series. And in one of the episodes, they were just talking about like a little behind the scenes thing. He gave probably one of the most in-depth talks about the Duel of the Fates whole like lightsaber battle.
Wait, and Duel of the Fates or
Duel of the
The
Fates.
battle on Mustafar.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Duel of the Fates with Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Darth Maul. And
Okay.
how literally he's like, when you say fates, like he's like, fates is multiple fates for one Anakin Skywalker. Like this whole fight, this whole duel of fates is if Qui-Gon succeeds, Anakin does not become the guy that he does. But Darth Maul succeeds, and he succeeds as the pawn of Palpatine and basically just does his job to kill Qui-Gon, which then sets in motion Obi-Wan's training, because Obi-Wan was never a fan of Anakin to begin with. Qui-Gon was the big supporter of Jedi should have emotions, Jedi should be, a little more this, that,
A
and the
little
other.
edgy.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
little edgy for Qui-Gon. Yeah.
Exactly. So he gave like this whole roundabout story for it, and I sat back and I was like, wow. That whole lightsaber duel really is like the tone setter for the entire next 8 movies.
Yeah. I mean,
It-
yeah.
Like the way he described it, I just had to sit back and I was like, whoa. Like,
I am not okay right now.
seriously, I was like, I need some like philosopher or like psychologist, somebody to come explain to me that I'm gonna be okay.
I am about to freak out.
Just tell me I can leave this room. Tell me I can leave this room.
Hey, you can leave this room.
Oh, thank God. But no, yeah, like it was really cool. It was really mind-boggling to like listen to, but
That's so funny.
okay. Well, we've gone off on enough Star Wars tangent really quick. So let's kind of reel it back in a little bit. Because hopefully if people are big Star Wars fans, they've been staying with us.
No, they're asleep.
But let's go in. Can you think of any other movie or even like video game, for example, that you would love to go back and replay for the first time or something?
Yeah, I mean, I of course like BioShock or BioShock, obviously Mass
Mhm.
Effect. I'm trying to think of games that really shocked me, like
Mhm.
with a big twist ending. Nothing's really coming to mind. So
I mean-
it's hard, but like, oh god.
I think the only other movie the movie that instantly actually comes to mind is actually one of my all-time favorites that I'd love to go back and watch for the first time would be Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, Shawshank would be a good one.
Because I remember my dad actually like told me the premise of the movie, kind of like I was still young when I saw it, but I would love to go back and have again no knowledge of what it's actually about and be like, oh, this motherfucker just like spoiler alert escaped.
Why did you tell me that?
Well, you've seen it by now, and if
was-
you haven't, get
It
out
was
more.
next on my list.
Next, it was in my DVD player. No, sorry, it was in my VHS player.
Dude, do you still have one? I don't have one.
I don't have one anymore. I think honestly, I think my dad still
Yeah, my
does.
parents
My
have
dad, my dad has the dual DVD VHS.
Same thing. Duel of the Fates. We were just talking about it, and now it's back. So,
Oh my god, dude! Yeah, children, guess what? A VHS. Look it up. I can't even
That's so
describe it.
funny.
Just look up what it is.
Here, hold on. I want to tell the story that we were talking about before we started recording here. Now that you said go look it up, to talk about
Okay.
how far technology has come. So
Okay.
you and I were just talking about devices that require Wi-Fi essentially. And we're like, oh,
Yeah.
phone Wi-Fi, that's good to go. Computer's good to go. PS4 is turned off, no Wi-Fi drawn on that. Lights are off, or just have one light on that does not require Wi-Fi. And then so I said to you, I was like, well, as much of a joke as that fucking sounds like my lights require Wi-Fi because I have the Hue lights or the Hue bulbs from Philips in my apartment and in my bedroom. You are required to fucking plug the hub into your router, and then you control the lights by your phone from the internet. So just everybody who's like, I don't know what do you say, 24 and older, like think about that,
Pretty much.
where you're like, okay, there's no fucking way lights are going to be controlled by the internet, and here we are.
Well, yeah, it's not even lights. It's like an entire house at this point. Like everything from the lights to the air conditioning to fucking security systems. Like a whole house can run on a Wi-Fi network
Which is
now.
scary premise,
which is
in
insane.
my opinion. Yeah, I'll stick with the lights,
For sure.
and
I was
I
gonna say, I
like the colors. So
seriously, I could see like some hacker though, like getting into your lights and just fucking with you so
people
much.
do
Like,
that shit all the time. Haven't you seen those stories where like with or not the with the baby monitors that are connected to the internet? Remember, there's ones where because you can talk into the speaker. So there's ones where like people are hacking into the baby monitor and like
oh,
talking to the kid and shit, like stuff that you only see in the movies. But nope, this is real fucking life. Like,
wouldn't it be
it's
funny if one of the
too much for
hackers
me.
was like, "Hey, baby," and all of a sudden, "Hey,
Like that baby from those E-Trade commercials.
what up, dude?" And the
Oh my
guy's just like,
god.
"Oh my, oh my
He
god!"
calls the cops on the baby. That's not a baby.
Uh, officer, get over to this house. I don't think that's an actual baby.
It's a criminal mastermind is what it is.
It's like a 30-year-old man just pretending to be a baby.
God, that's so funny.
Uh, well, and the other thing, I think we've talked about this too in the past, but like in terms of technology's sake, is like when I think we discussed like the share play
Yep, yeah, we talked about that
and
in depth for a
how,
while.
yeah, that again, that's another thing where it's like you were literally from another state able to take over my PlayStation and
Play the
play
game.
my game. Like,
Unbelievable.
like Jesus H Christ, dude. That's just yeah.
Like,
From where technology, I don't
you
know.
used to be limited spatially by 2.5 feet of cord to your own console. Now I can fucking transcontinental control your PlayStation 4 through the internet.
My brother and I had to go on our GameCube and fight over what data file we had to delete to make space for a new save file.
And now, flying cars.
And now all you have is Call of Duty taking over your system.
Oh my god.
Dude, that's actually out of control. How they haven't managed to file size that fucker down
Did
is
you see
beyond
that
me.
they like came out with an official response to all the complaints?
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah,
No.
I mean,
What did it say?
it was nothing. Like, it was the guy, and
Oh,
he was like, whomever it was, he's like, yeah, we know it's pretty big.
fuck
We're
you.
working on it. We're trying to make it small as possible, but updates are important. Okay,
Wow.
like, and
Jesus. And did you hear, by the way, they added a cool little feature now? Like they added like these underground bunkers you could access.
nope, I have not heard that.
So throughout the entire map of Warzone, you'll walk around and you'll see like in the past you could see doors that looked like nuclear fallout shelters, but you could never get into them. There was like it said like enter a code, you hit X and like nothing would happen. Well, the most recent update now, you kind of got to find the right loot box and stuff, but there are certain boxes that have key cards, and also if you go if you walk into like an office building and a phone's ringing and you answer it, you'll hear just like someone in Russian talking to you, but then your player has access to another access code. So you can then go find one of these bunkers and you can get into it, and there's just loot on loot inside this thing. And one squad, there was a video I was watching, got like, because like once you get through one door, you need another access code to get through like the next door and so on. And his squad got through like 4 doors, and they got to this point where you can look through a window and there's a little red button that's like you can press it and obviously nothing happens, but next door you can look through a window and there's a nuke being made underground.
Like, are people like actively working on it?
I couldn't really get the video. I couldn't really see I think it was just like the nuke itself, just kind of like in separate
Oh,
parts.
sure.
But you could like kind of peer around a corner and look through a crevice in the wall and see it. And I was like, oh, that's kind of like, that's really fucking cool, actually.
Yeah, I like that's a good little, just kind of, that's like extra details like that sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, I think that's why now Call of Duty has basically like taken Fortnite and Apex and all those other ones and just been like, fuck you.
Well, they have the resources, right? I mean, like, those other
Exactly.
games started at nothing, and I mean, Call of Duty decided to get in the battle royale game, already being the juggernaut that it is with a huge backing,
Right.
I'm sure much more funding. So
Well, but I think that's the argument I think I have though, is that it's not even the funding standpoint. It's the fact that they had these ideas to make the battle royale experience that much better. Like the implementation of the contracts, of the gulag, like the fact that you have a chance to get back into the game. Like there's just little things like that that I think have made it that much better.
yeah, I agree. That is a pretty big upgrade. I'm not a big fan of battle royale games in general, but I do like.
Right.
I mean, if I'm playing one, it's going to be that one. That's for sure.
Right. And I mean, again, obviously in the other games you could do this too, but like Call of Duty has kind of systematically been like, all right, we're going to do quads this season, and then we're going to do Battle Royale trios, and then we're going to have. They just implemented duos.
Oh, really?
So for like the first time now, it's strictly throughout the course of the game, it's all just pairs of two.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty
So
fun.
yeah, like I said though, that's like kind of cool little things that they've done now, which have kept people interested in waiting for like more content. Which that's always a surprise to me when I look back at like Fortnite or any like or even PUBG or Apex. Like the fact that nobody ever thought like, all right, let's try to do something a little different. Because like, imagine if Fortnite had taken ideas like that Call of Duty was doing, but did it back when Fortnite was at its pinnacle of coming
Well,
out.
I think Fortnite's individual or uniqueness is the building function of it, though, right? So, I mean, that was new.
That actually, those videos online now make me absolutely disgusting to watch.
Why?
Like, because if you go online and look up like people's abilities to build a for example in the game like a 10-story building, like you see a guy get shot once, he can build a 10-story building in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what kind of Fortnite's thing.
But that's why I think nobody's. I think for personally, I think that's kind of why people are sick of it, because that's just so stupid. Is it cool that you can do that fast? Sure, but like it's super fucking annoying.
Yeah, I mean, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but you know, whatever.
Basically what goes through my mind when I watch those videos. Same, honestly, if I'm watching those videos or I'm watching fucking Mary fucking Poppins over here singing,
Same thing.
I wouldn't know the difference. Same thing.
All I'm saying is you play them side by side, I can't tell the difference.
I can't tell the difference. Sweet Jesus. All right. Well, do you have any other games you can think of? Any other movies you can think of?
I don't think so, and I'm sure I will as soon as we're done talking. So
I'm about to say, as soon as we wrap this up, I'll be like, "Oh wait," and then
I'm back. Fuck.
Wait. Oh Christ! Could you actually? You know what? Actually, really quick. Well, one that I was thinking of is, could you imagine? And I think we talked about this in a previous one about if somebody had done this or not. Could you imagine if somebody had played Red Dead 2? Again, having no prior knowledge of 1, that would be cool.
Well, I don't even know how that story. I mean, I kind of know what happens, so the details have not been spoiled to me yet. So I see what you're saying, but
Right.
we'll see.
I'm just saying, like, obviously, now, like, we have played the first game, so going back now, 2 is like it's kind of like with Star Wars, like,
Right.
okay, we know
How did
we're
John
here, but
get
let's
there?
Correct. But now, what if you did it chronologically speaking?
That'd be
Like,
cool.
all right, well, now you know what? That'd be kind of cool to go back and be like, well, I'm gonna play this one first, and then we'll see like what John's all about.
Speaking of that, I would love a Red Dead Redemption 1 remaster.
Oh Jesus, that would. I'm still.
RDR1.
See, that's the thing. I feel like Rockstar right now, it's kind of like the way BioWare has had that Mass Effect trilogy in its like back pocket.
Oh yeah, Rockstar is doing great. They don't need to do a remaster.
Correct, but they have like everybody has that rainy day emergency fund.
Oh, absolutely.
In their back pocket, and Rockstar's like, all right, we've got Red Dead remastered, but we don't need to launch it quite yet.
Yeah, we're still doing well, which is so weird as to why Capcom decided to do Resident Evil 2 remastered, because they had just salvaged their franchise with Resident Evil 7, and that was a huge success.
They had like, oh, that was like amazing success.
So when I heard they were doing Resident Evil 2, I was like, really? Okay. I mean, like, I'm not complaining, but it would have been something that would have been way more expected after Resident Evil 6 came out, and that dumpster fire finally started to go a little bit. Then they'd be like, all right, you guys, we're going to remake Resident Evil 2. And everybody's like, fine.
See, you know what they did though? They put Resident Evil 7 out, and they're like, "Oh, you just put like $1 million on one hand and scored blackjack," and they're like, "You know what? Going all in again.
And it works.
$2 million.
And it works.
Here we go." And then they came out with Resident Evil 2, and they're like, "Wow, you guys were on the top, and now you're even more on the top. So good job.
Congratulations.
Kudos for that, man."
Congratulations.
Oh man.
All right.
Right. Well, before we go, what are you drinking, by the way? Jesus Christ, we haven't even told our fans.
Oh, it's just a general Sam Adams Boston Lager.
Oh well, yeah. It's been honestly, I've been moving this whole weekend. I have a little pinch of whiskey, just a little Jameson, just to get me through this. I know I finally moved into my new place. It's been a long weekend.
I know, Midwest Meltdown's coming at you from a whole myriad of locations.
Seriously, no, we
New
are
apartments on both ends.
New apartments, new setups. Like we're taking over the country by storm here. We're
new horizons to chase.
We're melting down everybody.
Yeah. Jesus. I'll chase them anywhere. There's time to share.
Oh man! All right, let me get a little sip here really quick before I say my goodbyes.
There it is. That was nice.
Oh god, that was scrumdiddlyumptious. Oh wow,
gross. All right, get me off this fucking podcast.
Get me out. Josh has left the party. All right, everybody. Thanks again for joining us. And again, don't forget, tweet at us, follow us on Instagram, Twitter. We have a Facebook page out there now too. So go find us
at Midwest Meltdown on the Facebook page. Sorry.
Midwest Meltdown. Just search for the Midwest Meltdown. Look for our logo. You guys know what's up.
Smash that like button.
Smash the like button. Just keep hitting it till it breaks your computer. Don't do that, actually.
Spotify. Follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Spotify. Drop us a review on Apple. You guys know the drill. Everybody's doing it. Fans are great. Community's great. Keep the positive vibes up, everybody. And we'll talk to you next week.
I agree. Keep it positive.
Keep positive. Keep gaming. Keep on striding. All right, everybody. Till next time. Adios.
Come on, Jeff.